to do a pick a card reading today, and in honor of Pisces season, we are going to ask, what does your soul want you to know? Um, so basically, it's like, what are those deep messages? What's your soul calling you to do? What does your soul want? All that fun stuff. Okay. Um, this could include messages that your guides feel that you need to hear. It could include what your soul's path is, but that is where we're going to go with this. So, let me cleanse the energy and get ashes everywhere. Sorry. And before we begin, please forgive the hideousness of my nails. For those of you who know me, you know I have a love-hate relationship with fake fingernails. So we'll just leave it at that, right? Okay, so before we begin, take a deep breath. Let go of all the stress and just focus on the pile that you are drawn to. You can pick more than one pile, but with a pick a card reading like this, I would not recommend, because it probably is going to go very deep. But if you can't decide between two different ones, absolutely you can watch more than one. Okay? All right, so pile 1, we have Lapis. Pile 2, we have Peach Selenite. Pile 3, we have Citrine. And pile 4, we have Sunstone. And I will put timestamps in the description box. All right, so whichever pile you are drawn to, we will begin. All right, pile 1, you picked Lapis. Lapis is all about your throat chakra. It's not only about like speaking your truth, but it's also about understanding deeper truths. It helps you communicate and understand other people in a better way. The weird thing is, the minute I started to do this pile, I got that feeling. I don't know if you've ever like gone swimming and you get like water up your nose. Like, it was instantly that kind of feeling. And so it makes me kind of feel like you might be like swimming in a lot of emotions, or swimming in a lot of feelings that maybe you're struggling with communicating. Or you're just even not understanding why you're feeling so much, or you might have even just recently gone through a very emotional situation, just like feeling very overwhelmed in your emotions, in your feelings. I would recommend whatever you can do to kind of get it out, like write out your feelings. Scream. Sometimes that helps. Oh wow. I do feel like it might be that you're going through some kind of pretty big shift in your life, some kind of pretty big change. Um, you might have recently gone through some sort of ending, and you're kind of feeling, uncertain about your next path. You have 3 8s here, which is really good energy. Eights are the number of abundance. It's also the number of like, infinite energy. And so it's a very strong message that you're getting what you're giving, right? Did I say that right? And when people hear that, they think, well, I am giving this and I am giving this and I'm not getting this in return. But in terms of like, you really have to be aware of your own needs and your own feelings in terms of what you're giving. I feel like too, it's a very strong message that it might be this like very significant shift in your life, especially in regards to other people, in regards to relationships, and it might seem very chaotic right now. um But it's almost like balance is needing to be restored. And it's like the chaos is necessary. You're you're very intuitive. You're very empathic. You're very aware of what other people's needs are. You're very much the type of person that um, would go out of your way for another person. And when you're in relationships, you tend to give your all because you really believe in the concept of like love, of true love. You're not somebody, even though I feel like you've been through some pretty difficult relationships in the past, you're not somebody who's jaded by, the idea of love. I feel like you're very much wanting that deep, fulfilling love. And I feel like even if you've connected to toxic people in the past, that was kind of necessary to open you up to your own depths. It's like when we want deeper connections with other people, we have to really dig deep within ourselves. And I feel like because you're the type of person that gives your all to other people, um, you might even have a hard time being able to acknowledge like who you are at a deep level. And there's nothing wrong with that because I feel like to some extent like we all do that. We all really dive into relationships. We dive into our work. We dive into our family life too. It's easy to really kind of forget who you are. There's really strong Scorpio energy. So you might have a lot of Scorpio or eighth house placements in your chart. And with that, especially if your sun is in Scorpio, your moon, your Venus, even, that type of energy, because Scorpio is the energy of transformation, Scorpio is the energy of digging deep, right? And so, in that sense, um, relationships with other people are going to trigger you to go deep within yourself. But at the same time, it triggers that in other people because Scorpio is a very intense energy. So you might even find that people get very triggered by you and you don't understand why, but it's that Scorpio energy. The longer you're connected to somebody, or the longer that you are around somebody that's a Scorpio, it triggers that. It will trigger that deep, going deep in terms of what are your deepest desires, what are your deepest passions, what are your biggest fears. Scorpio energy also, without realizing it, has a tendency to really try to control things, um, because Scorpio energy is so intense. And I feel like even if you're not a Scorpio or you don't have Scorpio placements in your chart, I feel like you just overall have a very strong energy. You might be Aries. You might be a very strong fire sign or have strong fire placements in your chart. Um, but sorry, I got off track. Scorpios, because it's such an intense energy, they're taught when you have that kind of intense energy, usually you're taught at a young age like you're too much, right? You're too this, you're too this, you're too intense. And so you instinctively learn to try to control your own energy, control what you show other people. But the more you try to control that, the more you restrict yourself. And Scorpios also have that tendency to really want to understand things at a very deep level. Sorry. I feel like I keep saying Scorpio and I need to, because this is not like a Scorpio reading. It's almost like you've been put in a very heavy place or a very dark place, an unexpected ending, an unexpected loss. It's even an energy of, the Kundalini awakening type of energy. But that feeling of being lost, that feeling of being in the dark, like that's where you find who you are. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. It's kind of like you're being like stripped down to nothing. But it's also because I feel like you've been in relationships in the past, or you've been in situations in the past that very much like boxed you in. You could have even, been in some kind of situation where, you've connected to, I hate to throw around the word like narcissist because I feel like it gets thrown around so much. Um, but just even around people, and it's weird because your energy is so strong. Your energy is so powerful, but it's like it's all been lost in like other people. And it's like you've connected to other people that have like engulfed their energy on you, but you're so much more powerful. I definitely feel that you're seeking something deeper. You're seeking something deeper within your relationships. You're just seeking something it's like you feel like you're empty, or you feel like you're missing something. You might even be missing a particular person. You might have a twin flame connection. Um, but there's if that's the case, I just feel like there's something about it that you feel like you don't understand. You're a really, really powerful manifester. You have such a powerful energy, and I feel like you're the type of person that is constantly seeking, constantly seeking knowledge, constantly seeking to understand, but and not just surface level stuff. You want to understand everything at a deep level. You might watch a lot of tarot readings to get guidance. but you're such a powerful manifester that I feel like you don't even need to look for guidance. It's almost like you create it. But your energy is so powerful in terms of manifesting. If if you were to think um, that you always have bad luck, you have bad luck, right? If you were to look at another person, if you were to look at another person and go, "Oh, they're gonna hurt me," they would. You know what I mean? And I feel like you go back and forth because you feel like you're intuitive, and I feel like 100% you are. But it's like it's not just being intuitive. It's like you're intuitive and a manifester, and so um, you probably say a lot. Oh, I called that. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. So you're the type of person, if you got like an intuitive feeling that something bad was going to happen, you could transmute that into something positive. And I want to say this, you have an understanding of darkness, right? You have an understanding of you've probably been in toxic relationships in the past, and maybe even connected to people that were not healthy, right? Were not really good matches, or other people would look at these people and go, "Oh, this person's a piece of shit. This person's this person's this." But it's like you connect to people, like you understand why people do what they do. You can, you could look at somebody that deals with addiction problems, for example, and understand that that person is just not a bad person. That person is just trying to, you know, heal pain. I also, uh, you've been through a pretty, you've been through a pretty painful experience in your life. Like probably younger. It might have been like you lost a parent, or it could have even been that there was just a lot of chaos in your home. I'm even hearing that somebody had like a babysitter or a caregiver that was not necessarily, I don't want to say like abusive, but like almost like a bully. 'Cause it's almost like I feel like your innocence was tainted or taken. And again, for some of you, I do feel that it's possible that you lost a parent, or one of your parents maybe was not around. I feel like too, it's like you've had all of these experiences in your life, and I feel like it's like you feel like you're constantly going in this circle, like trying to understand the why, understand why you've been in these situations, why you've had to go through what you've had to go through. Um, not that it's any consolation, but there are some people in this world who have such a strong um, soul purpose, right? Um, and for whatever reason, it's like they seem to be the ones that go through the most difficulties, right? They go through the most traumatic experiences, and it doesn't seem fair, Um, but at the same time, it's like again, it's like you have to the experiences that you have gone through and how you have managed, how you have it helps you have compassion for other people. It helps you know how to love on a deeper level. And you would think that those experiences make you put up walls, and they do initially. But when those walls come down, like what you have to give the world is really powerful. It's really beautiful. Um, it's so weird. Like I feel so lost trying to I also want to say this too. I feel like you might have had a lot of um we all have past lives, right? But I feel like you've had a lot of pretty significant past lives. Maybe even pretty significant difficulties in past lives. You know how when you have like a fear and you have no idea where that fear comes from. Like I don't know why I'm so scared of this, but I am. It's likely that it comes from something in your past life, and but having that type of fear and not understanding where it comes from, it's difficult to release a fear like that if you have no idea where the fuck it comes from, right? Um, but I want to say this: it's almost like everybody that you connect to is in some way a mirror to you. If you find that you connect with like if you find that you connect to a lot of people, or you've had a lot of relationships with toxic people, right? And you're looking at these people and going, I know they're a good person. I know that that they act like they just because of this and this and this, and you're 100% right. Um but what you see in that person, you see that person as a good person, and you're fighting to help that person see that they're a good person. You're fighting to help that person have something better. Like that's what you need to be giving to yourself. um you need to see that you're a good person. You need to see that you're I really want to cry. When you acknowledge truly how beautiful you are. Take away all of your experiences, right? Take away everything that's happened to you in your life. When you really acknowledge how beautiful you are and how powerful you are, the experiences that you get from the outside world are going to be different, are going to match you. And I do feel like you kind of have that awareness right now. Like I said, I feel like you're going through some kind of dark night of the soul, or some just really intense change, and everything seems very dark or very heavy. You might even be very drawn to darker things, like to taboo things, to things that you might feel are not good. But again, it's like your understanding of that, your understanding of the darker things, of the things that maybe other people don't pay too much attention to. Um, you have that understanding because you see things on a deeper level. You're able to see that the world cannot exist without good and evil, right? Um, and there really is no evil. It's evil is in essence like fear, ego, you know what I mean? But and that's what I feel like you're the type of person that can see the good in everybody except yourself. And I feel like you need to see that in yourself. Um, the relationships that the connections that you have right now, or the connections even that you've, recently had in the past maybe 10 years, they're very significant, and they're showing you a lot about yourself. So, what you see in other people right now, try to understand that within yourself too. Um, because it's like the darkness or the unknown is where you're gonna find your answers. Um, pay attention to the people that you're drawn to. If you look at somebody and you feel that that person is just so beautiful, you feel that that person is just so powerful, you feel even envious of that, even that is something within you. You have that same beauty, you have that same power. I want to say this too. It might be that you're having some pretty intense dreams. It might even be that you're having like nightmares. Um, you might even be taking something to help you sleep because it's really difficult for you to sleep. Like you might be a night owl. But I don't feel like you're a night owl because you want to be a night owl. I feel like you really struggle with sleeping. Um, because when we sleep, that's when it's when our body repairs itself. That's when we're in that meditative state, right? And so that's when um, our intuition speaks to us. That's when our guides talk to us. And if we have anything kind of heavy that we need to address, that's when we have nightmares. Um, if you're finding that you're having a lot of pretty intense dreams, I would recommend trying to look up what the meaning of it is, and like the basic meaning. So if you're having a dream about a house catching on fire, look, Google dream meaning of house catching on fire. Um, houses and dreams represent you, right? Cars and dreams represent your energy. Natural disasters in dreams, because I feel like for some of you that might be what you're experiencing. A dream of a natural disaster is usually means that there was something so traumatic and so significant that happened to you, um, that you haven't really addressed. So just take some time, like especially if you're having really difficult dreams or just really weird dreams that don't make any sense. Like write down everything that you remember, and like a cat in a dream means something, the color of the cat means something. And it might seem a little bit tedious at first to look up each individual meaning, but you'll be able to kind of put it together and understand. um, because dreams are always messages from your soul. let's pull some cards. Okay, one. The High Priestess. Yeah, it's some strong Scorpio energy. And again, you don't have to be Scorpio. That could just be the energy that you're in right now, going through like a pretty intense transformation. You're just super intuitive, but you're intuitive in a way that most people aren't. Like you can see, and you understand the darkness. You're a very deep thinker. You're very, very logical. But that can sometimes be your downfall. Yeah, because you're so like you're so trying to figure things out logically. Um, but what you're needing to understand is really in your depths. It's really in your emotions. It's very much in your dreams right now. There's that High Priestess again. You really do have a very powerful energy. You have a very strong presence. And again, that might be something that intimidates people. Um, and so you might find that a lot of people are triggered by you, that you seem to feel attacked a lot. You feel like you have to protect your energy. Um, it's because your energy is so strong, your energy is so present. Like I almost feel like when people connect with you, like they feel like you can see into their soul. And so anybody that has anything, they don't want they don't want to be seen. That I feel like that scares the shit out of them. But it's like you have this insanely powerful energy, but I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't get any rest. Um, I feel like you struggle with getting any rest. I feel like you struggle with sleeping, and I kind of feel like you went through something difficult. Um, where the place that you were supposed to be able to feel peace and comfort was chaos. It's like I'm almost seeing somebody like putting a bunch of locks on their door or putting all of this protective stuff around them when they're trying to sleep. It's like the place that you should feel safe, you don't. Or the place that you should have felt nurtured and taken care of, you didn't. You might have even gone through something really difficult in your childhood where you had to you had to grow up really quickly. You had to be the adult, take care of yourself. or you could have even had, parents who were, maybe more stricter parents, and it was that kind of like children are to be seen and not heard or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you weren't really given that, you weren't really in an environment where you could express yourself. Um, and I feel like because you're so intuitive, because you're such a loving person, but because you're such a caring person, it's like you wanted to fix your environment. You're hyper aware of everybody else's needs, because you feel like if you're prepared, if you can do this and this and this and this and this, then there's peace in the house, or then there's that sense of calm, and then you can have that calm. But I feel like you weren't really given that opportunity. You might have dealt with people in the past who maybe struggled with addiction problems. Maybe even you have as well, and I say that with no disrespect at all, and I don't feel like it's like a massive, um not, addiction is not the right word, um escapism, like, like we drink to kind of escape the stress of the day, right? Um we binge watch things to escape our reality. um so it's kind of like that. It's also like an energy of, kind of being in an environment where, um you know everybody else is kind of just in their own world, and you're the one that's having to like be responsible. It's almost like I'm getting this visual of this child like watching all of these adults just act like, crazy animals, going, what, how does this make any fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like you're self-taught. You kind of had to teach yourself, and so that's why you're the type of person that really does, um, work very hard to try to understand and figure things out. In the same sense too, it's like you're in this space of like trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong, or whether or not you should trust your intuition. But it's like the examples that you've had have been examples of people that present, strength, authority, but don't really have it together. For being honest, I don't think any of us really have our shit together, right? um but you know what I mean. It's like the people that you have learned from were people that didn't really have it together, or even have the like you're like a complete like genius. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you are it super intelligent, but your whole life you have been around people who don't have that. And no disrespect to anybody's intelligence, but you know what I mean? Like, if you are if you are very musically inclined, but your entire environment does not support that, like, you don't know, you know what I mean? And so I kind of feel like that's your energy. Like, there's something about you that is more evolved, or there's something about you that is, that you're, that's higher level, different level, and the environment that you're in or that you've been in has not supported that. And so it's like you have all of this wisdom, you have all of this power, you have all of this creativity, and it's all like bubbling up inside you, and you haven't had the outlet to express that. I also feel like too, there is a side of you that people see, and there's a side of you that is completely different. And I'm not saying that you're like a deceitful person, but I feel like you're just very protective of your energy. I definitely feel you're having like a lot of nightmares. With the Nine of Swords being in your hopes, it's like there's so much pain, or there's so much uncertainty, or there's so much unknown, there's so much fear that I feel like you're not even sure what to be hopeful for, because you fear toxic people. You don't want people taking advantage of you. You don't want to be attacked. It's also like you're it's like everybody goes against you, goes against your truth. There's a lot of like triggers around you, especially in terms of the way people communicate to you, or even the information that you're taking in. Oh, you have the Sun card as your outcome. I kind of feel like it's like you're seeking all of this understanding. You're seeking all of this awareness, an understanding of yourself, an understanding of why you've been what you've been through. And it's almost like I feel like the answer, like you're getting the answers, but it's like it's not in the way that you think. It's like, oh, my stomach is growling. Um, it's like that sudden aha moment. I want to say this, your inner child, like I feel like I don't want to assume that anybody has had like a bad childhood. And honestly, like you don't necessarily have to have a bad childhood to still have a lot of difficulties, um because if you are, if you're a really strong fire sign, and your environment growing up was, was all water, like all emotional people, it's, that doesn't support that drive, right? And so I feel like that's what it is. It's like your inner child never got it. You've never been able to really acknowledge your inner child. And I feel like that's what your soul is asking you to do. Um, Look at your childhood. Look at your inner child. Look at what kind of things made you happy. Look at where you feel, um, where you feel in your childhood that you missed out on. What were your dreams as a child as opposed to what they are now? Um, I remember I always wanted to be a lawyer. Because, like I said, I love to, you know, I love to know everything. I always wanted to be a lawyer. And I remember my parents were like, "You don't want to do that. That's 8 years of school. That's this and this and this and this and this and this and this." Um, but that's my point. Like, we have all these dreams and desires when we're kids, and a lot of times adults, without trying to, adults are very our parents are very logical. Our parents, like, they, they feel like they've been through all this, and so your parents are meant to teach you, what they've been through. um but again, it's like your energy, and no disrespect to the people in your life, your energy is at a higher level. um you might want to be a singer. You might want to be a famous artist. You might want to write a book, but everybody you've ever connected to is like, oh, that's just a dream. Nobody ever gets that dream. It's very rare that people get that dream, but you have the energy to do that. Because you're not like the others. Yeah, I love it. It's like you're trying so hard to figure things out. You're trying so hard to get something grounded. There's very strong younger energy, inner child energy. It's like you have such a powerful presence. Um you're such a strong energy, like powerful. um Take over the world kind of shit. But I feel like when it and I feel like this, you feel this, but within your external world, like, I feel like you feel very uncomfortable in that. You might even be somebody that um you really feel like the queen or the king of your own castle. But when it comes to being out in the world, you struggle with interacting with people. um you might feel like you have all this knowledge, you might feel very strong, but when it comes to communicating that to people, it's like you feel in you feel like a child, or you feel like you're just trying to keep everything together. um you have so much power. I do feel it's important for you to be mindful of where you're getting your information from, or where you're getting knowledge from. um Even be mindful of what you're telling other people, because I kind of feel like you're the type of person that my step my stepdad, he was the type of person that, like, he was always right. He was always right. I remember having this argument with him. um he was writing down the word bleach, and he was spelling it wrong. He was spelling it Bleech. And I was like, that is not how you spell bleach. That's, it's EA. And we had this argument, I shit you not, for 6 months. I got the dictionary out. Like, I showed him over and over and over again. This is how bleach is spelled. This is how. And he said, "No, that's not right. You're wrong." And I don't care what I said. I don't care what anybody else said. He still spelled the word bleach wrong. You could not tell him he was wrong. And I feel like that's like maybe the type of people that you deal with. It's like the truth, or the truth about something, but when it comes to communicating it to certain people, um it's like you could have all the proof in the world, and they're still going to tell you that you're wrong. And in that sense, like, don't waste your energy. You don't have to agree with them, like, because I almost feel like you feel like you have to defend yourself a lot. You might even feel like you don't want to show any kind of vulnerability. I definitely don't feel that you do, because when it comes to showing vulnerability, I feel like that has not been pleasant for you in the past. Um, you genuinely have so much power. You have so much confidence. You no. Well, you know what? I feel like you do have a lot of confidence if we're being honest. Um but again, it's like maybe there's certain people that you connect with, or you feel all this confidence, but then when it comes to, stepping out into the world, you might lack that. There's something about you that is meant to stand out in some way. um I feel like you maybe have like views and perceptions of the world that maybe other people don't necessarily agree with. um but it's almost like, again, it's almost like it's just you've been connected to the people that just aren't on your level. um there's some really strong fire energy around you right now. You might find that you're being triggered. um your sacral chakra, or your solar plexus, like, might be really heavily activated right now. You've got like this intense burning desire, or this, um just this intense energy that needs to come out. um my stomach has literally been growling the whole time. You need to feed your passion. Feed your passion instead of trying to understand your emotions. Instead of maybe trying to even understand your intuition, focus on the fire. Focus on what fuels your passion. You've got your emotional world down pat, right? I feel like you're very good at managing your emotions. And I feel like you are a very intuitive person. Um, at the same time, I feel like you're kind of logical. Um, but I feel like you even have a good balance of that. There's this fire. It's like you're scared of the fire. You're scared of the passion. You're scared of expressing yourself. Um, that's what your soul is calling for. Your self expression. What inspires you? You tapping into this very powerful energy, your intensity that other people have told you is too much. That is your gift to the world. You are only too much because you're too much. That's not a bad thing, right? Um, you've been too much for people who can't match your energy, right? Um, but that doesn't mean you have to push that away. I'm so sorry if like my stomach has growled through this whole thing. Um, but it's genuinely like you have this hunger, you have this fire, you have this, um, but it's almost like you're not acknowledging it, or you're trying to understand it. Again, if there's something that you're trying to understand within yourself, I would kind of go back to, your childhood. I definitely look into your dreams, especially if you're having a lot of, heavy dreams. There's something, if you're, this Leo full moon probably really affected you, because that is about your passion. That is about what fuels you, what inspires you, your confidence, and your self expression. all of this that you hold in is something that needs to be expressed. Because again, I want to say you're a powerful manifester. Try this. Think of something really minute and really simple. Like, just say, for example, I want to manifest a blue feather. I want to see a blue feather, right? Something really simple. Don't dwell on it. Um, just kind of say, wake up one day and go, okay, I would like to see a blue feather today. Don't look for it. Don't think about it. And watch how many times you see a blue fucking feather. Seriously. Like, you're that kind of a manifester. Um, and I feel like it's only maybe not worked on your behalf in the past, um, because you are so logical, or because you have like restricted yourself. You've been through a lot of toxic experiences, and so your thoughts are manifesting. But when you're in this kind of heavy energy, that's kind of what you've been manifesting. um all right, you guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm sending you much love. Bye bye. Hello, pile two. Okay, you picked peach selenite, which I love. Selenite overall is a cleansing stone. It clears away negative energy, but peach selenite is very calming and very soothing. Um, I kind of feel like that's your energy. I feel like you just have that natural calming presence. Oh, yeah. I like this. You have a very deep understanding of other people. Um, People really connect to you very easily. You're also a very observant person. You're probably somebody that would, go to a party and sit in the background and just observe people, and be able to understand. Let me keep going. Oh, you're if you've been like working on your intuitive, if you're wanting a career in terms of um being a reader, being a healer, that's definitely something on your path. You're extremely intuitive. If you've gone through like any kind of like um, healing yourself, learning about yourself, purging whatever, you're about to be very blessed. You are like, you are like the, I don't know why I always use this example, but like the guru on the mountain that everybody comes to for advice. um, but I really like your energy because it's almost like you have so much knowledge and so much wisdom. You're so powerful, but your energy at the same time is very soft and very gentle and very loving. But you're also like not in a weak way. I also feel like you might feel that you're being watched a lot. Um, you might even experience like when you walk somewhere with and there's a lot of like people are always looking at you. You might even feel um like I'm hearing like like people, somebody stalking your social media, and I do feel that that's the case, but I feel like it's like, I feel like people are just like in awe of you. I do feel that I do feel it's important for you to be mindful of your environment. Be mindful of the people that you're connecting to right now. Be mindful of like your immediate surroundings. Um, your energy is like, I feel like you've maybe like received a lot of downloads. You've just this very enlightened, awakened type of energy, but it's possible, like in that energy there is like vulnerability in that. You're more sensitive to your surroundings than maybe you were a year ago, 2 years ago. And that's because your energy has elevated. And so I would definitely, go through your immediate surroundings, get rid of any clutter. If you are somebody that is a reader or a healer or any kind of like intuitive, um spiritual energy, or even if you just practice that like for yourself, um make sure that you're doing some type of cleansing, grounding, praying, taking time to like connect, before you start the process. Like I feel like your environment is very important. You might have been able to, you know, be good with do readings, doing like if you read tarot. Um, you might have been okay in the past with just taking a quartz and meditating for a minute and then going on with your readings, but I feel like your energy has kind of elevated where it's like you need to make sure that you're doing some kind of praying, some kind of energy cleansing. Make sure you're doing some kind of energy cleansing with yourself, and with your environment on a daily basis, because again, I feel like you're just very sensitive to your surroundings. And so if there's a piece of paper out of place on your desk, it's going to distract you. Also, if you've recently gotten out of some kind of toxic environment or some kind of toxic energy, or if you've recently disconnected from maybe a toxic person, like go through and do like a reset. You know what I mean? Like get rid of anything that reminds you of anything from your past that is just not pleasant. Um, you definitely have a lot of eyes on you. And again, it's because like there's this is reverence, is that the word? Like people really like, you have this presence, you have this very strong presence. There might be a lot of people that are very envious of you, and you might feel that energy. um so again, make sure that you're consistently cleansing your space, cleansing your environment, especially if you work in the public eye. um Especially if you're in the public eye in some way, because all of those eyes on you, if you're not like taking that time to protect your energy, like visualize a bubble around you, um, you might be taking in more than you need to, I guess, if that makes sense. um, for some of you, I kind of feel like you might be like teaching meditation classes, or something that you do brings people a lot of peace. And if it's not something that you do, it is your presence. Um, your presence brings people peace. And again, it's not because you're just this, nicey, lovey-dovey person, which I'm not saying that you're not. Um, it's like you have a very old soul. You have a lot of wisdom. You have a lot of knowledge. You have such a powerful energy that most people with such a powerful energy would intimidate people. But there's this softness to you. I also feel like maybe some of you like sing, have a really good singing voice. Like I'm hearing like somebody singing like lullabies. My kids hated when I sang. They would literally cry. It was very sad. I love your energy. I really do. It's amazing. People can trust you. You're very loyal. You're the type of person that like everybody tells all of their secrets to. Um, you probably could have a library full of secrets that for everybody that you've ever met, and you would never, I don't feel like you would ever tell people. People really trust you, and that is your blessing. I want to say this too. I feel like you're the type of person that has always fought to do the right thing, always tried to, treat people fairly. And because of that, like you are being blessed. You're in this energy of, um, you're very aware of your soul, of what you want to do. Um, and you're in this energy of like opening yourself up to receiving a lot of abundance or a lot of success, even just recognition. And it's like before you get into that space again, it's just important to like cleanse anything that just doesn't. And I feel like you've done that. I feel like you've been in this process of letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. um it's just a matter of like little minor things. You might even have like a very soothing voice. Again, you might do like some kind of like, you might do guided meditations or something like that. Or that might be something that you would be really good at. There's really strong Libra energy in here. But I feel like it's because you understand the laws. You understand cause and effect, give and take. And it's almost like if you've been through any kind of suffering, any kind of difficulties, it's almost like you're in this space where you're embracing it. Like you understand. You have this understanding that is just amazing. You have a lot of wisdom to share, but again, it's like you don't have to force it. You're the type of person that people just come to you. People express everything to you. Like, you don't have to ask anybody anything. Oh, I just want to sit in this energy because it's so peaceful, but we're going to go a little bit further into your reading. What does your soul want you to know? Your soul wants you to know that you did it. You're there. You are guru on the mountain. You know, you were probably like some kind of like ascended master or some kind of very powerful leader or spiritual person in a past life. Pile 2. Let's go further. I also feel like nothing phases you. Nothing seems to... Things don't seem to trigger you in the way that they would trigger other people. And that's why people come to you. Because you don't react in like an intense way, I guess. Like if somebody were to call you and say, I just got into a car accident, you wouldn't like freak out and you would just be like that calming presence. Like, okay, don't worry, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Ace of Swords, ooh, I love that. You're very connected to a higher power. You're very intuitive. You're very good at communicating. You have so much intelligence. I feel like I feel like some of you maybe are readers or channelers. And that's why people come to you. It's like you just seem to have like this vast knowledge and insight of everything. I feel like for some of you recently, you maybe have just gone through like this aha moment, right? Like everything just suddenly seems to make sense. Um, your knowledge, I feel like you're going to change the world. um, like you have the power to just blow people's minds. I would usually see the tower as something negative, but this is like this energy is so amazing. I do feel that you're stepping into some kind of really big shift, expansion, maybe within your career. Um, just life in general, you're definitely stepping into a pretty powerful change. There is something I feel like you're needing to let go of. And it might even be something where you're struggling with letting go of it. It's something very minor, though, or it's something that you're already aware that you need to get rid of this. And this might even be something that you've already let go of, but the energy is still lingering around. Um, like if if you were in a really if you recently ended like a long-term connection, it might be like just the energy of that relationship is still lingering around. um you could have been with a person for like 10 years and left or ended the connection, but it's like it's you still wake up and you want to call that you know what I mean, like it doesn't seem to be heavy energy. It seems to be very minor things that need to be let go of, and it could even be just a shift in perception, but I feel like it's something that you're already aware of, something that you're already working through. Let me keep going. If there's something that you're feeling like you need to say to somebody, um I feel like you're struggling with how to communicate this. um it's necessary for you to say it. I do feel that it's going to really surprise this person, but not in a bad way. I feel like it's going to be what opens you up to move forward. Oh yeah. Oh, you have the King and Queen of Cups. That's a very deep soul connection, and you have the Two of Cups. Um, this could very well be that you have a really beautiful spiritual connection. It could just be that you're very connected to the divine. That could be your next step, what you're manifesting, this really beautiful relationship. But overall, I definitely feel like you yourself are a healer. You yourself are very intuitive. Give me one more on the Queen of Cups. The Star card. You're a healer. And if that's not what it is, whatever it is that you've been wanting, it's there. It's right in front of you. You've done everything that you've needed to do. Again, there might be something that you're needing to communicate or needing to express. I don't feel like it's anything negative. Um, it might just be like changing like one little tweak in your mindset. But again, I feel like this is something that you're already aware of. Um, it's this little thing that you're juggling with or struggling with that needs to be let go of. I also feel this too. It's almost like you're leaving behind one life to step into something completely new. If you're wanting to manifest a soulmate connection, you're there. Um, if this is somebody you already know, they're very much on the same page. have the World and the Ace of Pentacles. You're about to embark on a new journey. You're about to start something new. For a lot of you, I feel like this is your success. The star in the world is like world known, right? Whatever you're manifesting, like this is a big deal. This is something that you've worked hard for, or something that you've wanted for a long time. You're there. You're closing out old cycles. There is something that you are needing to let go of with the Devil, the Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Again, I feel like this is something that you're already working through. I feel like this is something that you're aware of. For some of you, I feel like it's in regards to your own confidence. And again, it could just be a thought. It's a thought process. It's a thought process or a mindset that keeps you feeling restricted. The Devil with the Seven of Wands it's an attachment that is making you feel this restriction. You feel that, you know that this is weighing you down. Whatever this is, you feel the weight of this. But the freedom of letting this go is so powerful. It's like the minute that you let this go. Yeah, for a lot of you, I do feel that it's simply like a perception shift that needs to happen. I just have conflicting thoughts. It might even be like communication with another person. It might be that the communication is like more of a battle, or proving your point. Again, this is not, although I feel like this energy might feel heavy right now, but that's because you've elevated your energy so much. But I don't feel that it's like it's gonna require like this intense like letting go. I feel like for some of you it might be, letting go of worrying about the conflict um, from other people. It might be that there's people that are just, minor annoyances that you need to let go of. Let go of taking things personally. Let go of worrying about the little things. But again, I feel like it's something that, for the most part, you're aware of. It might even be something that you're trying to not necessarily control. It's like you don't have to fight for. This is not something that you have to fight for. This is like you just speak it. You already know. And with the tower in front of you, if you don't know, you don't need to figure it out. The universe is in control. You know what I mean? Whatever this is that you're struggling with releasing, I even feel like you've kind of maybe prayed to the universe for guidance or for help in releasing this. The universe is helping you release this. if you're just conflicted about whether this is your path, if you're second guessing yourself, if you are like a reader, if you are somebody that's in the public eye, or somebody that this is in regards to your success, especially if you're in the public eye. Don't worry about the competition. Don't worry about fighting for this. Like, again, it's little minor things. And it might feel heavy. You might perceive something to be like something that you can't get rid of. I just feel like it's going to be a lot easier than you realize. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Bye bye. All right, we are on pile 3. I'm just gonna sage it up real quick, or Palo Santo real quick. Anyway, if you picked pile 3, the citrine is all about good luck. It's all about your solar plexus chakra. It's all about confidence. I just kind of feel like overall your energy just kind of radiates. Your energy just kind of shines. You stand out in some way, but not, not in a negative way. There's something about you that's very unique. There's something about you. You could also feel like you're a very lucky person. You're very wise. It's like you're just this very lighthearted, optimistic person. I feel like a lot of people are really drawn to you. Oh, yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of people are drawn to you. I feel like you do get a lot of attention because you are a very empathetic person. You're a very loving person. But I do feel like it's important for you to protect your own energy. Um, you feel like you keep repeating the same cycle. You feel like you keep adjusting and readjusting, but you still keep getting stuck in the same cycle. This is oddly similar to pile 1, but the energy's different, if that makes sense. I could almost say if you feel that you have a very significant connection to another person, you might want to watch pile 1, and that might be talking about that person. And if that's the case, I feel like you and this person just watch each other. um, you are the light for other people. But you need to make sure that you're acknowledging that in yourself, and protecting yourself and protecting your own energy. If you feel like you keep repeating the same cycle, I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like you are growing, you are evolving, you are getting stronger. I also feel like you have this energy where you either connect to people who are very protective of you, like almost too protective of you. Maybe people get very jealous. You've been in relationships where um people got very jealous of other people that you talk to, or relationships where people were, maybe controlling, maybe very protective of you. But then in the opposite sense of that, like you've also been in relationships where you have felt the need to be the protector, to be the provider. It's like you keep getting thrown into the same fire, but you keep coming out stronger. You're you're also feeling something on a very deep level, feeling that something is shifting, feeling that something is happening, feeling even a very deep connection to another person, but you're not seeing it. Does that make sense? Or you're feeling this very deep connection to another person, but you can't understand it, or it's not making, it's like you feel everything. You also could feel very judged by other people. Like, feel like a lot of people are very critical of you. You also might feel like you push people away. I don't feel like you push people. You know what? Some of you have, some of you maybe like feel a presence around you. It's almost like you're, like you have like a ancestor or a past loved one that is like very much in your surroundings, very much in your presence. Um, you could notice that you keep finding feathers. You could just even feel that you're a very intuitive person. You hear things, you hear messages. There's like a mama bear energy. If some of you have, like, maybe your mother has passed, or a grandmother, or a female relative that has passed, I feel like this has probably been pretty recent. But it could go back to like up to 12 years ago, maybe when you were 12. Um, this person is very protective of you. Like, you might feel like you've had like very lucky experiences, like almost maybe even like avoiding danger kind of lucky experiences, and this person is very much like picking you up and like keeping you safe. You could also notice that A lot of people come to you for comfort. A lot of people seem to come and go in your life. But I feel like it's for your protection. Because I feel like you're such an empathic person, you're such a loving person that you give so much of yourself. And so it's almost like your guides are like, nope, put yourself in a bubble for a little bit. You might be able to like be somebody that could do medium work. Like you might feel like it's like people come and go, people, but it's almost like your energy helps people transition, helps people evolve. I want to say this too. Things keep repeating, or there's a certain circumstances that or a certain energy that seems to keep repeating itself, or a certain person who keeps coming back around. It's important for you to take a step back and try to look at this situation in a different way. It's like it's like if you say I have this person in my life. I am giving this person unconditional love. I am always there for this person. I always do this for this person, but they keep treating me the same way. Um, because I feel like you need to look at it from a different perspective. Because it's almost like you're giving too much. You're giving too much of yourself, and not acknowledging who you are. It's also like in the way that you're communicating, or the way that you're expressing yourself. It might be that you feel like you're expressing yourself, um, but it's possible that you're so empathetic to other people that like you're trying to say something in the right way, like you're trying too hard. I'm really bad about this. um like you're trying so hard to explain something in the right way, as to not offend somebody, as to not push somebody away, as to not scare somebody. But it's like in that, you know, trying so hard to make sure that it comes out the right way. It's almost like it's getting very, very muddled because it's not authentic. Um, and it might even be when you feel like that you have communicated authentically, it's stuff that you have had built up and built up and built up and built up, and so it spews out, right? It just comes out, and so it's like not received well. Because it's like you're so in tuned to other people. You're so in tune to other people's needs. That you're giving and you're giving and you're giving, but you're giving what you feel that person needs, or um and you're not giving your own authenticity to the situation or to the person. Because I almost feel like people see you as somebody who has two sides, or it's like you feel like you're really expressing your authenticity to other people, but there's this, I don't want to say dark side to you, but there's this part of yourself that you don't acknowledge. Um, like you feel like, you might have like an insecurity within your appearance, or an insecurity within, like, what you have to offer, or just some kind of little, like, you might feel like you have to put in a lot of effort, a lot more effort to connect to people. Um, because there's something about, it could be something as simple that you feel some sort of like insecurity within your body, or you feel an insecurity within your sexuality, or even within your financial status, or you might feel like you have a lot of baggage or something like that, and so you feel like you have to fight harder to show people how loving you are. Okay, sorry. um what I was saying is, you might feel that you're giving your all to relationships, to your work, to whatever you do. Um, but I feel like more often than not, you might find what the truth is that you're giving what you think other people want. And so in that, you feel like, I'm giving unconditional love, and I feel like you are loving people unconditionally. Like, you're I don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. I don't feel like you're deceitful or anything like that, but I feel like in some way you're giving what you feel other people need or other people expect, because you are so in tuned to other people's needs. But in that, you're not acknowledging. Hold on. No, it's okay, babe. It's like there's a genuine need to really express you and your truth and what you feel passionate about. Because I do feel that you keep getting put in the same situation, and you are like adjusting yourself, but I feel like you're not giving your authenticity, like your And not even in the sense of like showing people like your vulnerabilities or anything like that. Just you, like what makes you you, and not what you think other people. Like you show people this, and then there's this other side of your personality that, not that you're hiding, but you don't feel like people understand it, um, and so you don't share that. Like you might be somebody who um, is really good at making people laugh or really good at making people happy, um, and you're good at it. You're really good at it. You're really good at making people laugh. You're really good at caring for people. You're really good at that, but that's still not showing you, right? So let's get further into this. All right, pile 3. Does your soul want you to know? Yeah, you're very loving, you're very generous, you're very giving, but you're not. Look at this picture. But it's like you're not, and you're giving and you're wondering why you're not getting in return. But if what you're giving you, is not what you want, if like, I know this is a really bad example, but like if you are wanting to like manifest abundance, right? And you donate to the homeless on a regular basis, but you're not getting anything in return. Well, if you have a perception of the homeless that's not positive, um, that's not going to get you the same results, right? If you're constantly giving yourself to another person, expecting that that person is going to see how hard you're trying and give back, that's not authentic. We have to be giving from a place of love. If you're helping people financially because you feel that giving is going to help me get back, if you're giving when you don't have enough to take care of yourself, I know they say that a good thing to do, that you should always give. And yes, I agree. But if it's costing you, it's not doing you any good because you're giving from a place of lack, right? Right. And you might even feel that that's how other people treat you, that other people are constantly breadcrumbing you, or you're constantly having to beg people for your attention. You really worry about people judging you or people misunderstanding you. Yeah, I, I feel like you really worry about um, you're really feeling a lot of loss, or you're worried about making the same mistake. You're worried about getting stuck in the same situation. Um, I feel like there is an insecurity in expressing your truth or expressing your perception on things, because I feel like you've done that before and it's not gone the way you wanted to. Um, it's like I feel like you're feeling, it's like you're feeling, what is that? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. It's like you keep trying to do something, but there's an aspect of yourself, there's a truth within yourself that you're not acknowledging. You might even be staying in a situation trying to make it work, trying to make it better, and it's not, it's a situation that's just not meant for you anymore. Um, but I also feel like there might be like a huge fear of change. Um, you might be in a relationship where you keep trying to make it work, you keep trying to make it work, and it's not working. And either it's because there's nothing more to do, like it's not going to, or it's that you keep trying to do the same thing. There's something that you're not opening up to. It might even be there's something that you're scared to communicate, there's something that you're scared to say, or again, I feel like it's almost like there's an aspect of yourself that you don't show or you don't express because you don't want to be judged. There's a perception that you have. It might even be that you feel like your whole world is falling apart and you're trying to maintain this brave face, you're trying to maintain this strong um presence, but internally like everything is falling apart. I feel like people would look at you and feel like you're just a genuinely very happy person, that you've got everything going for you, but I feel like underneath that you don't feel like that. And I feel like you struggle with showing people that because you do not want to be judged, um criticized, ridiculed. You might just not want to deal with some sort of change or some sort of new path. um with the Six of Cups, I'm sorry, I've got this to where I can't even see the damn cards. Hold on. Hold on. Hopefully that is better. Okay. Um, with the Six of Cups being your outcome, uh, again, this is like, and I said in the beginning not to watch more than one, but it's oddly similar to pile one. And I definitely think there's a need to get in touch with your inner child in the sense of, what makes you happy, what gives you joy. But I also feel like that's a part, an aspect of yourself that you might feel insecure. There's like an odd connection between this pile and pile one. But I don't feel like pile one is you. I feel like pile one is somebody that you might be connected to. You have a choice in front. Again, it's a cycle that keeps repeating itself in your life. It's a person that continuously comes back. It could very well be a soulmate connection, a twin flame connection, um, and this keeps coming back, and it keeps not going the right way. And I feel like this is coming back around for you. Um, but you have to be, if this is something that you want to work out, or even if this is something that you're wanting to disconnect from, you have to be able to go about this in a different way, and that is by acknowledging your truth, acknowledging your own happiness, letting yourself shine. I feel like it might be like you're trusting in divine timing. You're praying for something to change, but it's like the change is requiring for you to stand in and express your authenticity, because I feel like you're really looking at something that you feel that you've lost, or something that you feel that is going wrong, but it's right there and it's very beautiful, but I feel like you're not seeing it because you're trying to control how another person or how other people are seeing you. I feel very called out on this message because I'm like, I see that in myself. Um, I feel like I feel like I'm very authentic. I feel like I express myself, but I very much, I very much have noticed that I try to control what other people see of me. Um, because we live in a world that people are so judgmental. Um, you do one thing wrong and the entire world is going to criticize you. You know what I mean? You have a perception that's different from other people, and it'll create like chaos. So I get why it's difficult to really feel comfortable in expressing your true authenticity. But with that being said, um, anybody that judges you or criticizes you is that's coming from them. You know what I mean? That's somebody that's insecure with themselves. You also, I want to say, have three kings here. Um, you have very strong energy, and it's very strong masculine energy. That doesn't mean you're masculine or feminine. Um, it just means that you're more protective of your energy than you realize. And what's lacking is the King of Cups. Um, that's your feelings, that's your love, that's your emotional world. And I feel like that's what you need to be willing to show. Which I'm sure is difficult, because I feel like if you're in this Five of Cups energy, your emotional world, you're feeling kind of down about. Um, but again, you need to like acknowledge your happiness, like what makes you happy. There's a lot of inner child stuff that has been coming up lately. Um, and in essence, that really is what spiritual awakening is, because you're releasing all of the projections that other people have placed on you, or that you've placed on yourself. When you're a child, you're innocent, you're pure, you you know what you want, you know what you need, and you feel no fear going after that. When you become an adult, you become older, you know, you begin to learn that other not everybody accepts you for who you are. So there's aspects of yourself that you hide, or you don't even acknowledge, or you shut down, because you don't want to be criticized, you don't want to be judged, you don't want to be wrong. But that's where you need to go back to find out what that happiness is, because you have a really amazing energy, you have a really beautiful energy. um, and I feel like just in showing that authenticity, even if you feel others will judge it, being authentic is such a beautiful beautiful thing at this point. Authenticity is beautiful. And when you can show authenticity to another person, that helps that person feel comfortable in being authentic with you. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye bye. All right. We are at pile 4. If you pick pile 4, you pick the Sunstone. The Sunstone is that Leo energy. It's about confidence. It's about expressing yourself. You express yourself in your appearance in some way. You bring people a lot of happiness. You bring people a lot of joy. I feel like you're just a naturally happy person. Um, People feel very connected to you. I definitely feel you're going through some kind of heart chakra awakening. A very significant shift in your love life, or just in your connections to other people. There's something that you're holding on to, though. It's like you're holding yourself back from happiness because you're not trusting it. I feel like this is kind of like a almost like a self-sabotaging type of energy. Um like you're going through this really beautiful change. You're standing, you're even in your connections to other people. But it's like it's almost like when you feel happiness, you doubt it. Um, I also feel you might feel that you're in a relationship with another person and this person is like withholding, like holding back or keeping something from you or not being honest with you or they're not expressing their feelings. Um, but I don't feel like that's the case. It's like trying to explain it. I will say you're definitely going through a massive heart chakra awakening. Um, but that's also bringing up a lot of doubts and a lot of insecurities, and I feel like it might be that you're seeing a situation one way, but it's the complete opposite. Like it's almost reminding me of like somebody that has worked very hard to get out of a relationship that wasn't giving them fulfillment. They've connected to another person that just gives them this genuine love and genuine happiness. Um, but it's new and there's so much uncertainty to it that it's almost like projecting projecting fears onto that person, and looking at that person all of a sudden and not seeing them in a positive light, and so going back to a past person out of comfort. um, I also feel that you might be holding on to a lot of shame or guilt or um, it's when someone has never received genuine unconditional love, when somebody has been through a lot of painful emotional experiences, um, when you've gone through anything that has caused you to really protect your heart, when you connect to something that is genuine, that is a genuine love, that is unconditional love, it causes pain because it's awakening your heart chakra and it's opening up all of those old wounds. And so it feels very painful. It feels like there's something that must be wrong with this, but it's it's not the case. And I'm not like, if I'm not saying that love should be painful, and if you're connecting to a toxic person who genuinely is making you feel bad, that's not what I'm saying. um but like even like when you connect to somebody and you really feel so much love for that person and you're so deep in love with that person, and then you start to get in that space of, what if I fuck this up? What if this person leaves me? What if this isn't really the one? What if this? What if this? What if this? When you feel like a deep longing for another person, like you can't live without that person, that is a fear that is coming up. That is all of those pains of being rejected in the past, being abandoned in the past. That's all of that coming to the surface, and I feel like it becomes this self-sabotage energy, and that gets projected onto that relationship, because I feel like it's almost like you're restricting your own happiness. Or you might even be like in an energy where you you worry about sabotaging something, and just that worry about sabotaging something is like self-sabotage. um if the first 5 years of our lives are so vital and so important, um, and if there has ever been, whether you've had the best parents or not, if there was ever a time in your life where you weren't getting your emotional needs met, your nurturing met, if you were born premature and had to be in the NICU for some time before you got to connect with your mother, if both of your parents worked, um, if if you were a more emotional person, and your parents maybe were more, if your parents were more like guarded, um, then even in that energy, like your emotional needs aren't getting met, and that causes a lot of pain. And so to connect to something that feels so pure and feels so good and feels so genuine, um, it it will initially feel like pain. If you've recently ended a relationship and you're stepping into a new relationship and you feel like you feel like you've given yourself time to heal, and you have, um, but opening up your heart when you've gone through a difficult experience is going to feel painful. And so it's just important in that, like, to be mindful of what your fears are, especially in regards to love, because you might find that you know you can be very open and very free and very loving with your feelings and how you express yourself, and then you have those moments where you feel like you want to shut the world out and you want to protect your energy, um, and that's fear. That's a pain that you're needing to acknowledge. And even if you find that when you connect with people, that you connect with people um, who are withholding, um, again, it's something that you need to acknowledge within yourself. It's needing to find like a deeper love for yourself. I will say again, you're going through a pretty intense heart chakra awakening. um, I would definitely take a lot of time to do a lot of deep breathing exercises, because that helps open your heart chakra. If you start to feel over emotional or insecure or worrying about the future or focusing on the past, just keep focusing on your breathing, because that will help keep you grounded. I would also recommend doing heart chakra meditations, finding ways to love yourself, like doing what makes you happy, watching things that are funny, listening to music, like whatever brings you happiness that is not attached to another person. Not that you can't connect to other people, but have that happiness that you can find within yourself, that you can keep going back to, because I feel like um, you might be seeing a situation and worrying that it's a situation that's going to cause you pain, but I feel like you're feeling that because there is something genuine to it, but it's just triggering a lot of pain. But let's see what else comes up. Yeah, the Two of Swords. That's feeling stuck, feeling like you're in a stalemate, but it's also not acknowledging what your heart wants, not acknowledging your feelings, not acknowledging your emotional needs. And so in that energy, when you're not acknowledge, when you're in that kind of stalemate energy, you're triggered very easily. And so your thoughts start to kind of get in the way. And the Queen of Pentacles is about really acknowledging, nurturing yourself, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, feeling good about yourself, acknowledging what you have to offer. You've definitely been feeling very uncertain about something or very indecisive about something, and I feel like you feel like you're trying to figure it out. You feel like you're trying to understand, but I feel more than anything you're just focusing on the what it, like you're not acknowledging your heart. And because it might be that you are feeling a lot of pain, that there is a lot of pain coming up, or you're not wanting to acknowledge something because you feel like it's going to cause you pain. It's something that's pushing you out of your comfort zone. It might even be that you're connecting to somebody and this person is like a more, fiery energy. It might be that this person has a lot of confidence, and it might be hard for you to. It might be something about this person's personality. If it's not about a relationship, it's about your own acknowledgement of your divine feminine energy. Whether you resonate as either one, your divine feminine energy is that nurturing energy, that energy of taking care of yourself, that energy of creation. It's that energy of expression. Because you have Six of Cups in front of you. I think this has came out in almost every reading. So you definitely have like a past life connection or a soulmate connection in front of you. It's a very innocent connection. It's a very loving connection. It's a very pure connection. Um, but soulmate connections, that pure love, it is hard to um, trust, I guess. You might even be feeling the need to keep your options open in terms of love, because you're not wanting to acknowledge love right now. Um, you're not wanting to go that route right now. Yeah, because with the Three of Cups being your fears, and I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm pulling all these cards and y'all can't even see them. The Three of Cups being in your fears, that is an insecurity or uncertainty in connecting with other people, and really kind of forming those deep bonds with other people. Um, you could also have a fear of being involved in a third party connection. You might have been, gone through situations where you were cheated on in the past. You might even be worried about, you might have a connection with somebody that you're worried about how other people will perceive this relationship. You might even feel that there's something very non traditional about this connection, or there's something very non traditional about this person, or this person is not your normal type. And in that might make you feel a little bit uncertain. It might make you feel like there's must be something off about this. It might even be that this person doesn't seem to be somebody that wants commitment, I guess. Let me get one more. What's this? Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, there's something about this connection. This could even be like a new group of friends that you're connecting to. But there's something about this person that is not like other people, or not your typical type, or there's something about this person that you can't pin down, but I feel like it's because this is like a very genuine connection. Like there's a lot, there is innocence to this, and it's almost like the innocence kind of makes you feel uncomfortable. Like you might even see this person as somebody who just doesn't care, is just very carefree, but Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. This is what you want. This is a very it's a very spiritual connection. It doesn't, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It's something that you want. It's something that you've always wanted. It's something that you've been indecisive about. You maybe have just been indecisive about your path forward. And what you're not acknowledging is what your heart wants. And the minute that you acknowledge what your heart wants, it's there. I just feel like there's something about what your heart wants. It's like there's something about it that you feel like is not obtainable, or you feel like you want true love, but at the same time you don't feel like that's real. Um, you want abundance. You want um, financial freedom, but you at the same time don't feel like that's something that's available. Um, you want to pursue your own path and spirituality, but your family is very strict Catholic. And I feel like that's maybe why you're struggling with finding that comfort in it. The Eight of Wands is saying go for it. The Eight of Wands is saying I also feel like you're getting a lot. Feel it. Acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge where your feelings are taking you. Just go for it. Chariot is the determination to move forward, because this is something that is meant for you. This is something connected to your heart. This is your wish fulfillment. Um, you just have to open up to it. The Nine of Pentacles is saying that, and the King of Wands, and the Strength card, and the Eight of Swords. Damn, you're really in an amazing energy. Like you might feel like you don't have enough to pursue this, but you've got more than enough to pursue this. You have more than enough to take this on. If this is another person, you might feel that you're not ready for a relationship, or not ready for commitment. And don't force yourself into something that you don't feel that you're ready for. But I feel like you're more prepared to take this on than you think. With the Eight of Swords and the High Priestess being your overall energy, and the Five of Wands, you're very worried about the unknown. You're worried about conflict. You're worried about, but you're worrying about things that have not even happened. This is something out of your comfort zone. But you 100% have the ability to manifest it. And manifesting starts with acknowledging what your heart wants. All right. I love you guys. Have a good week. Bye-bye.